Hello guys, we are going to read Miss Daisy's Crazy. By Dan Gumman, pictures by Jean Paylott. Read chapters. This is AJ and this is Emily. This is Ryan and this is Andrea. This is Michael. And it is chapter 1. I hate school. My name is AJ. I like football and video games and I hate school. Our teacher, Miss Daisy, is talking attention. It was the first day of second grade. Miss Daisy told everyone in the class to stand up, say our names, and say something about ourselves. All the kids laughed when I said I hate school. But there was nothing funny about it. I have learned a lot of my 8 years. Thinking of I learned is that there was no reason why kids should have to go to school. If you ask me, kids can learn all we need to learn by watching TV. You can learn important information like which breakfast cereal tastes best and what toys you should buy and which shampoo leaves you in the hair shiniest. This stuff that we need to know then we grow up. School is just a dumb thing that grown-ups thought up so they wouldn't have to pay for babysitters. When I grow up and have my children on my own, I won't make them go to school. They just ride their bikes and play football and video games all day. They'll be happy and they'll think I'm the greatest father in the world. But now I wanted to let my new teacher, Miss Daisy, know of the very start I felt of school. You know what, AJ? Miss Daisy asked. I like school too. You do? We all stared at Miss Daisy. I thought teachers loved school. If they didn't love school, why do they become teachers? Why would they ever wanted to go to a school as a grown-up? I know that when I'm grown up, I'm not going anywhere near a school. Sure, I hate school, Miss Daisy continued. If you didn't have to be here teaching you, I could be home sitting in my comfortable couch and watching TV and eating bonbons. Wow, we all said. What's bonbons? Asked Ryan, a kid with black sneakers who's sitting next to me. Bonbons are these wonderful chocolate treats, Miss Daisy told us. They are of the size of the acorn, and you can pop into whole thing right into your mouth so you didn't need a napkin. I can eat whole box of bonbons in one sitting. They sound delicious, said Andrea Young, a girl with curly brown hair. She was sitting in the real side of the class and handful like she attached each other. Miss Daisy seemed like pretty cool lady for a teacher. Anybody who hates school liked to sit and watching TV and eating chocolate treats was okay by me. Me and Miss Daisy had a lot of common. Maybe going to school wouldn't be terrible after all. Chapter 2. Dom meets Daisy and Principal Klutz. Miss Daisy said it was time for us to clear off and desks and see how much we know in arithmetic. Ugh. If I gave 38 apples and Principal Klutz took 28 from them away, Miss Daisy asked, how many apples would you left, AJ? Who cares about how many apples you have left? I said, I hate apples. If you ask me, you and Principal Klutz can take all the apples away from wouldn't bother me one bit. You would have 30 apples, said the girl Andrea Young from front of the class. She had a big smile on her face, like she had just opened her birthday presents. Andrea Young says so is so smart. I hate arithmetic, I announced. You know what? Miss Daisy said. I hate arithmetic too. You do? We all said. Sure. I don't even know how to get a million 4 times 4. You don't? I had no idea, Miss Daisy said, scratching her head and wrinkling up the forehead. She's thinking and figure it. Maybe one of your kids can explain to me. Boy, Miss Daisy is really dumb. Even if you get 1,000,004 times 4. But that smarty pants, I know everything. Girl Andrea Young beat me and got called first. If you put 4 crayons on the roll, she told Miss Daisy, and put a bunch of crayons on top of her desk, and you will have 4 rows of crayons. You'll have 16 crayons. See? She counted the crayons from 1 to 16. Miss Daisy looked at the crayons on Andrea's desk. She had a puzzle on her face. I'm not sure I understand, she said. Can somebody else explain to me? Michael Robinson, this kid wearing red t-shirts and dirt bike on it, explained it 4 times 4 again, using pencils. He has 16 pencils on his desk and 4 rows of 4 pencils. Miss Daisy still had the look at her face she didn't understand. What happens if you scrub half of crayons, pencils? She asked. Michael took away 2 of the rows of pencils and put them on his pencil box. Then you would have 8 pencils, we all said. Andrea Young added, half of 16 is 8. Miss Daisy wrinkled up her forehead until it was all apricot. She still didn't get it. She started to counting the pencils on Michael's desk aloud and using her fingers. She got all wrong. We gathered around Michael's desk and tried to explain to Miss Daisy how to add, subtract, multiply, and drive numbers using pencils. Nothing worked. Miss Daisy had to be the dumbest teacher in the history of the world. No matter how many times we tried to explain, she kept shaking her head. I'm sorry, she said. It will take me a while to understand the arithmetic. Maybe you can explain it to me more tomorrow. For now, we have to clean out our desk because Principal Claus is going to come to talk to us. I know all about principals. My friend Billy on the corner, who was a second grade last year, told me that the principal is a king of the school. He runs everything. Billy says that if you break the rules, you have to go principal's office, which is a dungeon down the basement. Kids in the dungeon get locked up and forced to listen to their parents' old CDs for hours. It must be horrible. Miss Daisy told us to be our best behavior so Principal Clutch would see how matter we are. Finally, he walked into our room. Welcome, second grade, he said cheerfully. I'm sure we are going to have a wonderful year together. Principal Claus had lots of stuff of rules at the school. We're not allowed to run in the house. We're not allowed to chew gum, stuff like that. But I wasn't listening very closely because I kept staring at his head. He had no hair at all. None. His hair looked like a giant egg. When Principal Claus was all done telling about the rules of school, he asked if anybody had any questions about what he had said. Did all your hair fall out of your head? I asked. Or did you cut it off? Everybody laughed, even I didn't say anything funny. Miss Daisy looked at me with a mean face. Actually, it was both, Principal Klutz replied with a chuckle. Most of my hair fell off on its own, so I decided to shave the rest of it off. That is the saddest story I ever heard, said the girl named Emily. She burst out tears. Don't feel bad, Principal Claus said. It could be a lot worse. How? Sniffed Emily. Well, least of my brain couldn't fall off my head. We all laughed, even Emily. Principal Claus was a pretty funny guy for principal. Are there any questions? Do you have a dungeon down the basement where you put the bad kids? I asked. Actually, the dungeon is the third floor. Principal Claus replied. Nobody laughed this time. He quickly told us that he was making a joke and didn't have a dungeon at all. Principal Claus must be felt bad that we didn't think his joke was funny because he invited us all up to the front of the room and touched his bald head. We did and make everybody feel better. Principal Claus seemed nice, but a lot of people seem nice when you first met them. And later you find out that they were evil villains who planned to take over the world. I bet he was lying about the dungeon. This is principal class, you know. And this is Emily, Michael, Ryan, you know. Chapter 3. How to spell read. Before the school started, my mother told me that second grade is the most easiest grade because of the year you would be able to read the chapters books all by myself. I already knew how to read, even though I tried too hard not to learn. You see my friend Billy told me that you really don't know how to read. Billy says that when you grow up and make lots of money, then you can pay people to read you. That sounded good to me. I hate reading, I announced when Miss Daisy passed out some spelling worksheet. Me too, asked Miss Daisy. You do? We all asked. Yup, she said. I can't read a word. You can't? You can't even spell the word read? Michael Robinson asked. I don't have a clue, she said, scratching her head in the same way when she told us how to multiply 4 times 4. Just sound it out, Miss Daisy. Andrea suggested. R-E-E-D? Miss Daisy said. No, we all shouted. I give up, she said. Do any of you how to spell the word read? R-E-A-D, we all chanted. Wow, I didn't know that, marvelous Miss Daisy. You have done me all out today. How did you get to teach second grade and don't even know how to spell read? Asked Ryan. Well, I figured the second graders don't know how to spell very well, so it wouldn't matter whatever I could spell. I know about to spell lots of hard words, Andrea Young announced. Me too, everybody else said. Really? Miss Daisy said. Like what? Everybody started shouting our words and spelled them. Miss Daisy stopped us and made us turn. She had each a chalkboard and write words we know. I wrote tonight, riding, and McDouglands. By the time we were done, the whole chalkboard was filled with road words. There wasn't any room to laugh more. Wow, Miss Daisy said. You kids have taught me so much this morning. I'm really glad I decided to be a teacher. Chapter 4. Miss Daisy is crazy. In the lunchroom, I opened my lunchbox and saw my mom had packed me peanut butter jelly sandwich. I traded with Michael Robinson with his potato chips. Everybody was talking about Miss Daisy. Miss Daisy is crazy, Ryan said. He's the weirdest teacher I ever had, said Emily. She can read, she can write, and she can even do arithmetic. What kind of teacher is that? A bad one, I said. Hey, I just thought of something. Michael Robinson was able to say even his mouth was filled with peanut butter. Do you think that maybe Miss Daisy isn't a really teacher at all? What do you mean? Ryan asked. Maybe she's an imposter, said Andrea. An imposter? What's that? I said. Somebody who impost? No, silly. Imposters is somebody who pretends to be somebody else. Miss Andreas explained she might be a fake teacher. Maybe Miss Daisy is really a jewel thief or bank robber, I suggested. Maybe she snuck into our school and hidden so police wouldn't catch her. I think you're the one who's crazy, Andrea giggled, choking on her milk. But what if Miss Daisy was a bank robber? Or she could be a horse thief, or a cattle luster, or somebody who parked to wear the yellow line in the club. My head started to fill with all kinds of awful things Miss Daisy could be. Maybe Miss Daisy kidnapped our real teacher and who our ransom, I suggested. Wow, you think so? Emily asked, looking all scared. What's ransom? Asked Ryan. My mom tells me I'm handsome, Michael Robinson chimed. Not handsome, ransom, said Andrea. I don't know what it is, and when everybody's kidnapped, they held up for it. In cartoons, people who get kidnapped are always tied up in railroad tracks. I remind everybody, maybe our real teacher is tied up in rail tracks right now. We've got to save her, said Emily, and she was running out of the lunchroom. Wait a minute, said Michael Robinson. That doesn't make sense. Miss Daisy can either read or do arithmetic. How is she going to be able to kidnap a teacher and tie in her rail tracks? She doesn't look like a kidnapper to me, Ryan said. We should tell Principal Clutch, said Andrea. He'll know what to do. No, I shouted. Don't you see how good we have it? If we'll tell Principal Claus how dumb Miss Daisy is, he will fire her and replace her with a real teacher who knows reading, writing, and arithmetic. Well, we'll have to learn all that stuff. I don't want that. You don't want that, do you? No way, said Michael Robinson. I don't care of the imposter or bank robber or kidnapper, I said. I like her. I'll say we keep her. Me too, Michael Robinson agreed. I think she's cool. Okay, let's not tell anybody, I said. That will be our little secret. We all agreed. Our list will be sealed. But not sealed with glue and anything. That will be gross. Chapter 5. The most genius idea. After lunch we had recess, which means we get to the playground and run around. Miss Daisy said we needed to burn the energy. Now this is more of my style, I announced when I got outside. I made a beeline in the monkey bars. Me and some other kids hit the swings. After all the boys had a contest who can spin around in circles the longest without throwing up, Michael Robinson won. Then we all sat down on the grass. Even though Miss Daisy was pretty cool, we all agreed that we hated school. We made a promise to one another that we could hate school forever, even if we change our minds and decide we liked school. That's when Ryan came out with the most genius idea in the history of the world. This was his idea. We should buy the school. Ryan told us that his father worked in the big company, that once his father's company brought a other company just like we could go to the store and buy candy bar. Ryan said it happens all the time. He said he didn't see any reason why if they couldn't buy school just like that. If we bought the school, what would we do with it? Michael Robinson asked. We could do anything want to it. We'd own it. We can turn into a video game arcade. I said, sure, why not? Instead of teaching, reading, and writing and arithmetic, we can teach kids how to play video games. And we could ride skateboards in the hallways, asked Michael Robinson. Sure we could, Ryan said, if we own it. We got all excited because of one of thing almost as much as playing football. It's video games. Oh, riding skateboards, I started emptying my pockets. I have a nickel, 3 pennies, and a lifesaver. And other boys emptied their pockets too. We segregated the pennies, nickels, and dimes into little piles. Then we added up all the money. We had $1.32. Wow, Michael Robinson said. That's a lot of money. I don't think that's enough to buy a school, said Ryan, who knew things about the financial matters because his father worked for a big company. Well, how much do you need to buy a school? I asked. Beats me, said Ryan. We'd better ask Miss Daisy. We all rushed inside after recess and asked Miss Daisy how much it would cost to buy the school. Gee, I don't know. Miss Daisy, who didn't seem much as anything. Why do you want to buy a school? We want to turn into a video game arcade, I told her. That's a great idea, she beamed. I love video games. There's so many schools and so few video game arcades. That makes perfect sense and turns some of these schools into video game arcades. I arranged a meeting with Mr. Claus tomorrow and ask him if we can buy school. But right now, I have to go to Mrs. Cooney's office. Mrs. Cooney's office down the hall from our class. She says she's the school of the nurse. But probably I think she's a spy. I'll tell you why. There's a big poster on the wall and says like this. EYWXLEOPLSJRMAMWGRGA. Eolxlel plus germ Jura. We tried to read again, and it didn't make any sense at all. Even Andrew Young didn't know how to read the poster. And she knows everything. I think Mrs. Cooney is create a secret code. She was using posters to send mystery spies message. I will keep her on her eye. When we all walked to Mrs. Cooney's office, she had all us aligned up the size order. I was one of the shortest kids, so I had to stand in the front of the line. Then Mrs. Cooney told us how to also take off our shoes. That was first I thought I couldn't track the mud all over her office. But then she told us she's going high and way and meters are. Obviously, she's trying to gather information about us because that's what spies do. My friend Billy says the heavier you are, the smarter you are, because heavy people are have bigger brains. But I think Billy just says it because he is overweight. I weigh 52 pounds. Mrs. Cooney showed us some awesome ruler she was. It was made of metal and stretches 6 feet long. Then we press a button and whole thing shoots out her hand and disappears like magic. It was cool. She has lots of spice too, but she couldn't let us with the magic ruler. But Mrs. Cooney ran around measuring everything. She showed us that the bench we are sitting was 17 inches high. The door of her office was 30 inches across. Her foot was 12 inches long. Hey, my foot is a foot! Mrs. Cooney exclaimed. That's all feet, I asked. Some feet is less than foot and some feet is more than foot. She explained, my foot is actually a foot. I had no idea what she is talking about. Mrs. Cooney wrapped the measuring tape around her forehead and nose. Look, my head is almost 2 feet reverse. We know that reverse is descended that way to circle to diminish and descends through the middle of the circle. What's a disaster of your head, Mrs. Cooney? I asked. Everybody laughed. Even I didn't saw anything funny. That would be hard to measure. But isn't measuring this fun? Miss Cooney asked. I wonder how much scales weigh. Mrs. Cooney started to measure and weigh more things, but Miss Daisy said we have to go back to class. It's up for this time. It was chapter 1 to chapter 5. Bye bye.